I'm here with top NBA draft prospect RJ Hampton, his trainer, mentor, former NBA champion Mike Miller. Guys, I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
And RJ, your story is unique, and you spent last season in the NBL. What was that like in Australia? What was your season like? What lessons did you learn from that season that you've been able to carry on here with you in the pre-draft process?
I would just say, my season was great. I had great teammates, great, coaching staff, ownership. So, them really, teaching me how to be a pro on and off the court is something I still use in day-to-day life now. With this extended process, you just pick up on things that you heard over there or that you saw. So, definitely, there's a lot of habits that I still use from them now.
So in terms of like your maturity and stuff that you're able to get from there, was there something that opened your eyes about the pro lifestyle, about being a professional?
I would just say it's really a business. I came, after my junior year of high school, straight to a professional basketball team. So just the way they carry themselves and, how they act in front of media or, traveling or just anything, that was a big lesson that I learned, at 18 years old. So, taking that on into my rookie year and, down farther, it'll be good.
So during the pandemic, you've underwent a lot of different changes around you. You're now represented by Dan Frank, and you've got Mike Miller, the guy sitting next to you in your corner, is kind of a trainer, mentor, just everything, kind of behind the scenes for you. How much has that benefited you? You think throughout the process, and what have you been able to pick up and learn?
I think it's benefited me a lot. Like you say, he's a champ. He's done this, for, a long time. And he's one of the greatest to ever do it, at his position and, at his, caliber, shooting the basketball. And, that was something that I wanted to work on, when I got back from New Zealand. And, I think to be the best, you have to seek out the best. And, for the last 6, 7 months, we've just collaborated and, trying to get this thing to a different level.
And Mike, you last year you worked with Darius Baisley extensively. You worked on his jump shot, able to revamp that for your old coach Billy Donovan. What was that process like for you now with RJ and taking him under your wings?
Well, I think the biggest thing, I think he touched on it with even going over to New Zealand and playing, is just the professionalism of it. A lot of times young kids are going to be lottery picks, top 5 talents in the NBA drafts, don't like to make changes. And he was willing to make the changes, actually sought out the changes. So, that to me is what's exciting about working out with him is you got a kid who's got all the talent in the world, understands what he wants to be better at, what's going to be best for him long term, developing those habits now. He's developing professional habits. And it's only going to help him not only in this year's draft, but also, for the next 2, 3, 4 years, and hopefully for the next 15, 16 years.
From a technical perspective, what did you notice about his game or about his shot, instantly when you started working out with him and now, months later as you guys are rounding out this pre-draft process?
Well, the biggest thing, he was already a really good shooter. It's just now learning how to be a professional shooter and a good shooter are two different things. And so he's really limited his movements and a lot of things he's doing. It's making him more consistent. It's more of a long-term shot. I think the biggest thing for him is he could have went into any team next year and shot and played well. But he's looking at the future and how he can be an all-star. And so he understands that he has elite speed. He's probably the best, most athletic dude in this draft. And so now you put that together with a guy who's going to be a consistent three-point shooter. It's just really scary to think. But, it's a credit to a kid who's 19 years old and is forward thinking. A lot of them are just thinking about what car they're going to buy and where they're going to be drafted, where he's thinking about how can I be an all-star in 2 to 3 years.
Mike, you've been around a lot of elite players throughout your career. You played with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. What kind of player does RJ remind you of from your playing career?
I think all the really good players I've ever been around, especially at young ages, remind me of, don't really remind me of a whole lot of people. But if you put me up against it, I think he has a lot of Zach LaVine in him. I think his athleticism is incredible. I think people underestimate how athletic he is, how fast he is. John Wall end-to-end speed is crazy. If I'm drafting this draft, I'm all over him because he can guard 1 through 3. It allows him to play 1 through 3. 6'5", 200, most athletic guy in the draft. When you add all those things up together, he's potentially a multi-time all-star and it could be one of the best at his position.
RJ, what do you think about the Zach LaVine comparison? Are there any other guys that you feel like you compare yourself to or you look at as role models?
No, I think, he hit it on the head. That's a guy I watch all the time, Zach LaVine. Like you said, John Wall, Derrick Rose, you know, guys that live in the paint, guys that use their athleticism and speed to their advantage, but, you know, at the same time, you know, wanting to knock down shots, you know, to take my game to that next level. But those three guys are definitely, you know, three guys in the last, you know, 10 years or so I've definitely looked up to.
So RJ, where do you see yourself, you know, the next 3, 5 years? Do you have goals for yourself, and are there aspirations that you have in your mind right now?
I just think the main goal is just, you know, to get in the league and make an impact right away. I feel like, you know, playing my professional overseas these last 7, 8 months, you know, training as hard as possible, training with, you know, an elite group and an elite team. You know, I think the sky's the limit for me as far as making an impact, you know, right away to, you know, whatever situation I go to. And I would say 3 to 5 years, you know, be a champion, you know, be an all-star, you know, just kind of you know, kind of shock the world in that aspect.
So RJ, there are other point guards in this draft class, right? You have Tyrese Halliburton, Killian Hayes. Where do you think you stack up as a competitor to guys like that?
Like number wise, like where I stack up?
Yeah, in your mind, as far as a competitor perspective.
I think I stack up number one. I mean, I think they would say the same thing, but just the competitive nature, you know, that I have. I don't know, playing against grown men is a little different than playing against 21, 20-year-olds. So I think that kind of speaks for itself.